Well, welcome back. Right now, Oguleke Samuel joins me in the studio to discuss the cabinet reshuffle, and he is a political analyst and also a journalist. Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's get started. How did you react to this news? Did it come to you as a shock? You know, or did you expect it? Looking at the fact that some persons will say, "Hey, these people are just barely 2 years in office. They're barely 1 year in office, and why?" There's so much in a hurry. Did it come so early to you?
Well, obviously, let me start first by saying that everything I want to say here is my opinion.
All right.
My personal opinion. And obviously, I will actually say this also, that everybody listening and watching this station, this channel, should know that I don't have anything against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Neither do I have anything against his government. So whatsoever balances and judgments we're actually giving here is just based on what is happening and what we know. Now, this did not even come as a shock, because he said it earlier on. He has said it that whosoever that is not performing or whosoever that underperformed will be sacked and will be replaced. So we know very sure he is a kind of person, though I didn't vote him. Yeah, I didn't vote him, but then I actually said it that even the three front runners, are not even part of those that ought to rule this country. Oh wow! Yeah, I said it,
including Peter Obi.
Well, the three of them, none of them is worthy of actually ruling this and you know, directing this the affairs of this country to the right. But obviously, amidst those three, the only one we can still single out is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for me, like from my hand. That okay, fine. Even if worst come to worst, we can actually still pick worst out of worst. Are you getting this now? So now, obviously, those ministers that were sacked now, not that they actually underperformed. All right. That was not the main reason. That's why people don't know. So this is politics.
It is politics.
This is politics.
You know, I was going to add, if they have been, you know, discharged of their duties in just 1 year plus, then I've had several politicians who will tell me that Mr. President is not a magician, that he cannot fix the country under 1 year. So why are these people,
that is where politics comes in.
In just 1 year.
That's where politics comes in. If the president is not a magician and cannot fix the country within 1 year, how on earth do you expect a minister to fix everything under his or her office within 1 year? So it's not done. The only thing I know that happened is politics. And when politics occur like this, as a political analyst and as an economist, you see very sure that for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to have brought back Ojuku's wife. Are you getting what I'm saying? You know that this is pure politics. This is not about whether you are capable, you are not capable, you are this or you are that. So, because obviously, if you are to bring anybody back into this system now, it shouldn't be Ojuku's wife.
Why did you say so?
So no, we are actually coming to that. Obviously, if you are to actually talk about who should handle the finance aspect of this country, why we not? We should go and beg Okonjo-Iweala again. Right. Yeah, we should go and beg that woman, because what the woman did. I am a Yoruba. Are you getting it? People should not be like, because no. Thank God Okonjo-Iweala is a non-Yoruba. Yeah. But if we actually upright thinking, like we really want to make things right in this country, then if you know very sure that you want capable hands to fix the country, you can bring Okonjo-Iweala into Ministry of Finance and make sure that you fix our cabinet, so that those that actually put our name in the mud when she was there, that because she was actually fighting corruption, and everybody, you know, they maligned her name and all sort of things, and you know very sure, if you are an economist, you know very sure that Okonjo-Iweala did well and performed well when she was a minister in this country. So for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to have sacked those ministers, you know very sure, you know that is politics. They have other places they are going to fix them. And this is to tell you that they have started 2027 game. This is as simple as that. This is 2027 game. Those ministers have served. Are you getting it?
Yes.
They served. They know that they served. Their name is being written as minister. They will still be, they have been recorded as minister, and they will still be getting their, you know, pensions.
Yes.
You know now, as they are getting their pensions, then they will actually fix in into a particular office. Do you know that one of our ministers or one of our ex-military heads, chief of army, chief of army staff, that was removed the other time,
yes,
because of, it's now in another political office.
Don't see.
And that political office is not even in Nigeria. It's actually representing us in another country.
Really?
Okay, now tell me, somebody that has served as chief of army staff now representing us in another country, you actually said the person was not doing well.
Yes.
And it was removed. The person that was not doing well, that was removed, would now do well, perform well by representing somebody that cannot do it nationally. Yes. Will now do well by representing us internationally. You see, this is politics. So, and that is why I do tell people that in Nigeria of today, if you are thinking military will take over, I don't know after 2027 anyway. I don't know after 2027, but for now, believe me, every nook and cranny, every holes, every loopholes have been blocked, so that nobody, there's nothing you can do. Can you actually enter Aso Rock? Can you actually? So these are things. Are you getting it now? So obviously it is politics. It is not, or it is not the situation of whether you perform or you didn't perform. If you are to talk about it, Minister of Education, yes, obviously we know he underperformed. Okay. Are you getting it? But at the same time, with the influence of Wale Edo and Gbajabiamila, you cannot expect such office, such as the person that is actually holding that office to perform.
Why did you say so? Are you trying to say that Femi Gbajabiamila and Wale Edo interferes in the business of the...
Okay, when labor unions were fighting, were crying, were actually on the street saying they need minimum wage, they need this. Who championed the negotiation? Was it the Minister of Education?
No.
No. Who? Gbajabiamila, Wale Edo. Why? Is it their office? Why are they championing it? So if president could actually dedicate all those words, and they instead talk about this NEFund. Who championed NEFund? NEFund is actually under education office, right? But who championed it? So you don't expect me to be in a particular office and be redundant in that office, and you are still expecting me to perform. So if I will be put in a particular position in this administration, somebody asked me, okay, last week in a particular TV station like that, they asked me, said, if you are given an appointment in this administration, will you serve? I said, why not?
Exactly.
I will serve.
Because it's not about the party.
It is not about party. Yes. I'm not a partisan person. It is neither about party nor about the person there, but this is about my country. Exactly. This is what I know how to do. This is what I can do. If I am being called on what I can do to come and fix what I can do, why not? I will accept it gladly. And obviously, just like Okoji Ewiala, you cannot threat me. It's as simple as that. If you actually threaten me, you are just wasting your time, because there is no amount of threat that will actually gets to me. So, like then, Okoji Ewiala's mother was abducted.
Yes.
You remember? We know. Apart from that, there are a lot of family issues then that, they actually rose up against husband and everything, and people are like, okay, it is because she was doing this, she was doing that. Obviously, whatsoever you want to do, you will do. In as much I know this is my duties and this is what I ought to discharge, I'll surely do it. And if you are trying to stop me, then the world will hear it. I'm a media personnel. I don't know why all these ministers, since all this, ask Taman or what is his name? This Minister of Education. That Mama ask Minister of State for I think Youth and Development that was also sacked. Yes. Ask them how many media or press briefing have they done? Oh. So if you are working in this 21st century, whatsoever you are doing must be
out there. Exactly.
Out there. Let people know, okay, this is what I've done. If I'm going, obviously, if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu could actually appoint me as anything now, or give me any office to, to actually direct now, the first thing is I'll ask, sir, I'm a media person, would you allow me that even if I'm having meeting underground, it must be covered?
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. Let's know who are actually destroying this country. So that is just about that. It is political. It is not about whether you perform or not. If it is about performance, would you have went ahead to go and bring all these names that he brought to the Senate?
Well, the viewers, at this point, our phone lines are now open for you to call in to give your contribution or join the conversation. One day, I beg your pardon, Bayo Ononuga, that's the information and instructed to Mr. President, said something that after these people were sacked, like some other persons, we are called privately by Mr. President. So when he was being asked, is it to compensate them? Though, according to Bayo Ononuga, he said that Mr. President, appreciated them for their work so far in the office, and it was just a long story. But should we expect another badge of sack?
Of course. One thing is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not a magician, as people have been saying.
Right.
Well, at the same time, for someone who have been in politics, who have been in governance since 1980s.
Haven't been born then.
1980s. So, like, seriously, he should know better than we upcoming.
But does he really know better, if I should ask?
Yeah, obviously, the affairs of this country, believe me sincerely, whether you like it or not, people will not believe. People will be saying whatsoever they want to say. It's not easy at all. It is not a day job. See, if you are not, let me use this word, permit me to use it. If you are not an ogba, like
within the both
power, you cannot rule this country. You cannot rule this country. If you're a kind of person that you will be like, okay, fine, okay, let's pity them. At least, believe me sincerely, you will not rule this country, because this country, even people like us that are ruling, in this office, knows what those that you are fighting for are doing. People that you are fighting for are fighting you.
Interesting.
That's the issue of this country. You'll be fighting for them. They are fighting you
in return.
And obviously, you are fighting for them. But people, if you actually touch anyone that is giving them or that is feeding them, are you getting it? Somebody is feeding them, but the person is feeding them in a wrong, as in from a pulse, from a pulse that actually withdrew much from them. No matter whom you are, they will face you. Obviously, that is the issue of this country. They don't want to know whether the person that they are feeding, that is feeding them, is getting that finance from a wrong or from a negative or anyway. Immediately, they can actually get a stipend from someone. The person is caught. And it is not their fault.
Okay. Whose fault then? Because we are talking about fixing now a kind of a kind of damaged economy and country.
Now, first thing I know, it is not their fault. It is the fault of the government. That's exactly what we'll still say, because obviously, if police, media, when I say police, I'm not talking about police officers. I'm talking about these VIO and these FRSC. They are under police. Are you getting it? If police, media, and military personnel can actually be those offices can actually be fixed, believe me sincerely, you see that the country will be better. Are you getting it? So, and obviously, you know very sure that people that are ruling this country would not want this country to be divided. You know. Imagine President Bola Ahmed Tinubu called for regional government, which all of us have been, you know, clamoring for. The bill is actually at the National Assembly. Ask me who is against it. The Senate leader, who is from Southwest, that Tinubu came from, against it. And ask me his reason. He said if we actually gave them, okay, if we actually go back to the regional government, Biafra will go. Look at us thinking. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So if obviously you want to, I don't know why you're actually using bicameral. That's one of the problem. Why are we using House of Representatives and House of Senate? Why? Believe me sincerely, whatever, if you don't know, if anybody don't know how they work, this is how they work. Mercy. Whatsoever bill you are taking to House of Representatives now, it will be read first time, second time, third time. Then it will be ascended to. After that, you will now need to go to check one, as in to find one senator at the House of Senate that you now give that same bill to. So the senator will now present the bill at the House of Senate as concurrence. So it is after first reading, second reading, third reading there that they now passed it. Then you still now need to wait until President give assent. And same thing happened to Senate. Whatsoever that have been deliberated on and you know they approve this, they still need to send it to the House of Representatives for concurrence. So why are we using? Why not mixing both the senator and the House of Representatives? Kuku expand the House of Representatives, the numbers of House of Representatives. Let each local government have a representative. Are you getting at the National Assembly? That's 779. It's okay. Fine. Are you getting it? So with that, we know very sure that their nay is nay, their yes is yes. So it's as simple as that. That's one aspect. Another aspect is Tinubu. Tinubu now is actually, though he inherited, as they used to say.
You don't believe what they used to say. You don't believe as they used to say.
You know what you are going there. If you don't know what you are going there to face, then why going there? That's just it.
They said he's not a magician.
He's not a magician. If you don't, the only thing I don't want to hear, what I inherited is I inherited a bad economy. You know the economy is bad, and you contested. So if you don't have,
and even give us your word that you campaign for this job.
So obviously, you knew what you are going to face. So if you actually knew what you are going to, and you didn't prepare for it, so who to blame? Who is to be blamed? So obviously, if I'm actually campaigning for presidency seat now, mercy, the first thing I'm looking at is, okay, how do I fix economy? If that is what I want to go and fix, I will know. Well, so cry, I want to fix this economy, and I'll fix the economy. I know very sure. If a president could actually fix economy and every other thing, you know, say ceteris paribus, like we economies, all things being equal, you know very sure that every other things will be aligned into that. So now, I know very sure that these ministers, these new ministers, and the reassigned ones,
exactly.
Imagine, and the reassigned one will not make any difference. That is just it. In as much we still have cabals in the presidency, in the executives, and we still have those cabals at the national assemblies. So there's not much you can actually do. For example, look at Ondo State. The election is less than a month, right?
Yeah.
And House of Assembly, the State of House of Assembly approved another another 96 billion naira as supplementary budget for 2024. How many months do we have in 2024?
12 months.
In 2024 now. We are in
October. We have just 2 months.
2 months to go. And a rational state assembly approved additional budget, supplementary budget of 96 billion naira, not millions.
Interesting.
Billion naira. So what would you have brought to the House of Assembly that warrant us? You brought 92. You actually brought 92. They increased it to 96.
Oh, that's interesting. You have to tell us more about that, but let's quickly hear what this caller have got to say. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
We're glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Gideon, calling from Lagos.
Gideon from Lagos. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah. Thank you for the gentleman in the breakdown, the discussion you are having there. We thank God that the youth are now coming up to have a good discussion to discuss about the government in the country. We are part of the government. And they should know that we are aware of all their antics, what they are doing on the ground.
Okay.
One, the first post they said they are doing a cabinet reform. The major thing that is not even performing at all, which is the Minister of Petroleum. Why can't he remove himself as the Minister of Petroleum and appoint another minister, because he is number one minister that is not performing as a Minister of Petroleum.
Interesting.
Which is the president. He has over this cabinet gentlemen, so he has over it.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Likewise, the Minister of Power, the two of them, they should quit their ministry. Another Minister of Petroleum should be appointed. Minister of Petroleum, a Minister of Agriculture, a Minister of Livestock should be removed and be assigned to another ministry. Another minister. They are not performing.
Okay.
They are below, I can only call them 20%. 20%. Minister of Petroleum is zero. Another minister should be appointed as Minister of Petroleum. Minister of Petroleum is not performing, which is the president. How many days, how many weeks is spending in Nigeria to as a Minister of Petroleum that is there? Has he ever been steady? The refinery that they said it will get running by 3 months, by a year, by 3 years, by 2 weeks, now they continue postponing. He should start instead and appoint another minister.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening. I would love you to respond to this.
Yes, simple. I was actually coming there.
You know that the Minister of Petroleum is the president.
I told you, I said it categorically that the reshufflement is not for whether you are performing or you are underperforming. It is politics. Because obviously we know that Adelabu, who happens to be the Minister of Power in this country, ask me his performance. No, just ask me. Under his watch, within a year, how many times has national grid collapsed?
Yeah, I think under this administration that we had is
within last week it collapsed more than 3 times. No, we just. So what are we now saying? So Adelabu is there. Adelabu came from my state. So people should know that this is not about politics. This is about our country. This is about my father's land.
Okay.
If you are my father, you are there, you are not doing well, leave that seat. That's number one. You talk about Minister of Petrol. Why? Since Buhari's time, since ex-president's time, that it was Buhari that started this uncalled for ministerial appointment. He was the Minister of Petroleum for good 8 years. Why? How? You as a president, you cannot even manage to perform well if not really rigorous, and every action day and night is being put. Effort is being put into such office as a president. You will not be able to perform well. Not to talk of now having Ministry of Petroleum to your portfolio. Now, that ex-president did it just like that, and that was the beginning Like, forget about what we have been having in that petroleum sector before. That was the beginning of outright downfall of that sector. Because what did Buhari know about petroleum? That's first thing. Now, Tinubu came. Obviously, he said he will continue the legacy of his predecessor. So we cannot blame him. So now, Tinubu came, instead of him to look and climb of this country and say, okay, fine, this person is very good at this angle. Okay, come and be our Minister of Petroleum. And you give him target, you give him specific dates. Okay, fine, within a year, if you cannot revive at least 2 of our national refineries, then you'll be removed. Not that you'll be removed alone with everybody in that cabinet. Exactly.
But you know, this refinery of a thing, it's not just about whether they want to fix it. There is too much cabals going on in that.
See, let me tell you something.
In that.
Yes.
That is why I don't even know if refineries.
Mercy. There are cabals. Are you getting it? But the same cabals can be, all those cabals can be removed. They could actually, there is nothing that is that cannot be done. Are you getting? If you are usually having political will. Now let me give you this example, this analogies rather. Oando allegedly is being owned by Tinubu's family, right? Oando, not allegedly now. We saw it in news. The same Oando has gone to Trinidad. They actually bidding to own the refinery of the whole country, Trinidad. And don't forget, they are now one of the 3 that obviously out of 10, one of the 3 that were picked. Oando is actually part of them. So obviously, Oando could actually be in the next 4 months. Oando might be the one that will be controlling refineries in Trinidad. And where do we import from? We import from Trinidad. Don't forget, we import from Malta. Are you getting it? Yes. Now, if that could happen, Oando that is bidding to have to be controlling the whole refineries of in Trinidad cannot, for a single reason, have their own refinery here in Nigeria
that are bidding for Trinidad.
Now, apart from that, who is that person that is controlling Oando that is capable of, managing a whole country's refinery, that cannot manage our refinery here, that cannot be our Minister of Petroleum? These are things that they know. So obviously, Mr. President, which is my president, our president, whether we like it or not, he is our president, he is my president. So Mr. President knows very sure this cabal because they started it together. Are you getting it? So somebody that has been in government since 1980s cannot tell me that he will not know those cabals. You have been governors for 8 years. Are you getting this? You've been in different positions, so you know very sure that these are the cabals. You let them know, okay, fine, this is your share. You will know very sure this is this country now. This is your shares. Else, if you don't want to, let's actually fix everything. If everything is not going to be fixed, then you have to be exposed. It's as simple as that. Because there is nothing Tinubu is fighting for. Now, what did he want to become in life again?
I love that question.
Somebody like me could actually be in a situation that I'll be panicking. I could still be, I still have a lot of
energy as a
youth. Somebody like Peter Obi could still be, how old am I? Somebody like Adewale Adebayo could be like, I'm still
very young and giant.
Tinubu, look at your age. Look at what you have done. Look at how you were part of those that actually protested against removal of fuel subsidy then. Now, you've seen that fuel subsidy should go. You removed it. Somebody that can remove fuel subsidy can now capture the cabals. No, they can. He can.
As an economist, I want you to, speak to me about this particular headline I saw today on the paper, and it gives concern. I said our Nigerian is owing debt of 135.5 trillion naira, not billions, trillion naira. And I'm kind of wondering when and how we are these debts accumulated? Because we as the citizens, I don't even feeling it. We can't boast of good roads, we can't boast of electricity, we can't even boast of power. We can't we can't even, not even agricultural sector. So we literally cannot boast of anything in this country, and we have accumulated debts of 135.5 trillion naira. Someone called me this morning and said, I hope it doesn't get to a point where they will not be telling citizens to be donating money to pay our debt. And it's funny, but it's not funny.
Well, obviously, it's because you're not.
So tell us, an economist, how did we arrive here? How did we get here?
Yeah,
because we aren't feeling anything. Assuming there's a sector which we can say, even if it's the head sector, okay, this particular sector is doing absolutely well. We can say, okay, this is where the monies are going. But we literally can feel nothing, and we have accumulated such amounts of money.
Obviously, it's because you are just seeing it. Our debts. Rachel was around 300 plus before, before it actually come down to that. Thank God for our ex-president Obasanjo, that actually helped all out. Then now Tinubu said, according to them, allegedly, he said they have actually paid a lot of.
Exactly, I think I listened to that on the international.
Obviously, it could actually be on paper, and nothing will be done at the back anyway. But obviously. Now, let me give you the breakdown, how it comes. Every government in this country borrows.
Yeah, there is no government that don't borrow, but what we are saying is feeling the impact.
Now, the issue is where you are borrowing from will now determine how you are going to use that loan that you've borrowed. That's number one. Then number two, the kind of leaders that you have will determine. Then number three, the source of the loan, the interest will determine. Number one thing is IMF, that people, that's why I said, see, our problem is not even, when it comes to economy, our problem is not Wali Abdul's issue. Our problem is, how on earth would my country want to go and borrow from IMF, and then IMF will be giving them condition on how to spend the loan? What concerns you? Are you getting it? I remember during Goodluck Jonathan that they wanted to borrow. That was why the man did not borrow that money. Now the one did not get the loan. Why? How would you say a country will get loan and you must, the percentage that must be spent on education is 0.05? How? All those instances, conditions keep giving us issues in this country, and the fact that we don't need to be borrowing again. Are you getting it?
So how do we survive as a country?
God bless you. Obviously now, if you actually ask Tinubu to manage this country for 8 years without borrowing, he can do it. He can do it. But the fact is, they want to, most of the ministers that are feeding him, they actually want to get their own share in bulk. Exactly. That is, it's as simple as that. Imagine these clueless ex-ministers that fooled all Nigerians that we have one aeroplane, that we have our own now, and we even launched that airline, that we have our own airline. We even launched DOKITA. Imagine. And after they left, we have nothing. They went ahead to go and borrow. They rebranded it on just to fool the whole country. And the same ex-minister is working with all his hands up in the country, and none of these people that knew that everything happened and we were all cleared up cannot even say, hey brother. They will not say that. They will not even talk. That's the issue we're having in this country. So the problem is not borrowing. The problem is what we are using the money to do. So if we are actually borrowing, as you've said, that we are seeing the impact, we are getting the impact, then it will be good. But obviously, since the ministers they are appointing are not even loyal to the citizen, to their country, so what else do you get? So now tell me, I was talking about Ondo State, right? Yes. What would even the education sector of Ondo State, go and check it. Go and check Oriomi. Go and check all these Igbokoda and other sides. Go and check Ondo. You will see how poor these cities and towns are being managed. Are you getting it? Obviously, these are there, and you after over I think 200 billion budget. Now, correct me if I actually make mistake. Now you now want to add another 96 billion naira for this year. That's making it 296 billion naira. Are you getting it? For a year that is already gone, or is it for no, for this year, or supplementary budget for this year, in 2 months to go. In 2 months to go. That's interesting. It is not for anything, but they actually want to use it for this election. It's as simple as that. Okay, fine. Ayedatiwa, ask Ayedatiwa after 2 months, by January, that he should come and account for every dime he spent. They will be giving you stories. Okay. The worst of this is that they will tell you that governor used 7.8 billion naira as fuel allowances. Those are things that you'll be hearing. So in this case, governors that are not very sure that their allocation has been tripled, will be calling on president instead of the citizens to be calling on them. What are you using our money for? And I said it the other time that that's why I will not actually pity the labor unions, because I said it when they were agitating for minimum increase in minimum wage. I said this is not what you ought to be agitating for. You don't need increase in minimum wage, because as your minimum wage is increasing, you are actually destabilizing the economy for yourself, because there is no government that will increase minimum wage in this kind of situation. Will not, and I will not want to get the same money back from you. Now look at it now. Till then you can actually have 100 naira vehicles, abi 50 naira from one place to another. Go out now. You see, many people are at home now. So let's come back to the cabinet's resumption. Look at Ministry of Youth and Development. They scrapped it again. They brought it, scrapped it. Yes, including that of Niger Delta. Okay, no, that one was regional development. Yes. But now, tell me, why would you bring something within a year and you still scrap it? That means you don't know what you are doing. You are just there. You are using us to do trial and error. Trial and error. Oh, if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, we'll try again. So, and in such situation, you don't expect the country to move forward. One of my status posters posted something this morning. He said, my pastor, I think on Facebook, our pastor prophesies that dollar will be 10 naira. He said, you people, and she believed dollar will be 10 naira. In which country? In Nigeria. If dollar will be 10 naira, what God cannot do does not exist. What God cannot do. That's an enlightenment. I know. What God cannot do does not exist. And the same person. Obviously, I know dollar could actually be 5 naira. In reality, if one, the first thing is we start selling our petroleum in naira. Are you getting this? Our oil, our crude oil, let's be selling it in naira to every country. If America could be looking for naira, Ghana is looking for naira. Other countries are looking for, even Trinidad is looking for naira to get crude oil from us. It will boost the value of naira, because as much as they are looking for it, they are searching for it. Naira strength will be increasing. As in the naira strength is jacking up, you will now see that in Europe you can actually buy a 1 kilo of 1 kilogram of is it kilo now? Is it kilo or 1 kg? Yes, 1 kg of beans at 3 euro. Are you getting it? Yes. 3 euro converted to naira. You see that it's. But if our naira is going up, people that are going there will come back home, because the value of money there will be useless. and nobody will now be agitating for increase in minimum wage.
To attract more investment.
Believe me sincerely, government will have audacity to say we cannot pay 70,000 again. Now we'll be paying 20,000 naira as minimum wage. If you want to fight, go and fight. He will now tell you, is it that you accept 20,000 naira? Because if 20,000 can actually take you for the whole month and you still have something to save, why would you be collecting 70,000 naira? Exactly. So it's as simple as that. Things can easily come down, but that is why we are now saying that instead of agitating for increase in minimum wage that will be affecting our economy more and more, then let's agitate. Let the labor union agitate for selling our petroleum in naira, and every export goods from Nigeria should be sold in naira.
All right, before we wrap it up, because our time is fast spent, what did you make out of this declaration by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? He titled it "Cost of Governance." So he has reduced the number of vehicles used by ministers to 3 and their security personnel to 5.
I have said this. That means Tinubu is actually listening to us. He actually watching. He actually having this listening here, because obviously
one would wonder. So if it's not, when we talk about government, it's not just about ministers alone. House of God members are involved. Senators are involved. So what happens to that angle?
Tinubu cannot, for less as the governance is. Tinubu is executive. We have 3 independent arm of government. If anybody would do that, it would be Abbas and Senate President Akpabio. Are you getting it? So, but he can actually have influence on them. Okay, fine, because they have their budget. So it is from their budget that
at the time, the National Assembly told us that the 60% of their salaries or whatever has been moved to for economic growth, and we didn't feel anything.
No, that one is allegedly. So obviously Tinubu did. For him to have said ministers should reduce their vehicles to 3 and security personnel to 5, I want to actually encourage Nigerians that we should give it to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in that regard. Obviously, that is exactly what I'm actually. I actually want it to be 2, then security personnel 3. Exactly. As simple as that. That 3 for serving ministers. Any ex-governor, ex-minister, should have just 1. If you are not, go and use your money to.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. So you will see that lowering the cost of governance, people will be like, okay, fine, they are trying. So as they are trying, then let us be feeling it.
I hope we get to feel the impact, because that's the most important. It's just like pouring water on rock. When you don't get to feel the impact, it's just like pouring water on rock. Well, thank you so much, Samuel, our economic guru, for coming and political analysis. It's been wonderful having you in the studio. Thank you so much. And this is where we call it a day on today's program. Keep watching Kaftan Television. I am Messi Emelite. Have yourself a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye.